What a beautiful day, thought the traveller before he was overcome by a creeping sense of foreboding. The voice in his head grew louder. Must go to Pendulum Lane.
Pendulum Lane is just up ahead. Something must have happened here after all. Everyone's crowded around.
Oh my god, this is terrible! I don't understand. The three great clans of Constellation Metropole have finally made peace with each other. Who could have done this?
What happened? Oh no, someone's lying on the ground. Cappe!
How did this happen?
Cappe, you idiot! Wake up! You need to revise your last words or everyone's gonna start suspecting me!
Last words? What did he say?
If I wind up dead one day, the murderer was Boberano.
Ugh, you could have at least pretended to not remember it.
I'm sorry, Boberano, but this is an interrogation. I have to give the detective straight answers.
Don't worry, Boberano. I don't consider you a suspect, nor do I have the authority to charge anyone with a crime. So, are you the last people to have had contact with him? My sincere condolences. You were travel companions, right? It's a real tragedy. I'm afraid he'll be out cold for another hour and a half, at least.
Huh?
Yeah, I know. It's despicable. Hitting someone in the back of the head is the second worst act of cruelty there is. The first being replacing their gear oil with extra strong glue.
So, Cappe's not dead?
His gears, metal frame and shell are all still in excellent condition. It's just his energy supply that's been all messed up. Wait. But surely you can't be suggesting that just because Cappe isn't broken, there's no need to go looking for the culprit.
No! There's a need! Huge need!
Unfortunately, this is rapidly turning into a cold case. There's no evidence and no witnesses. Unless there's an official clockwork pedestal, the goddess of prophecy around here somewhere. Excuse me. Then suddenly the long-lost dragon of old flew across the sky.
Where?
I didn't see anything. Wait, why can't I move?
Oh, my mistake. It was just a cloud. Or a bird. Or something. If only we could turn time backwards and replay the crime.
Isn't that one of those, clockwork socket things right behind you?
So it is. No wonder everyone here is suddenly struggling to move. Traveller, if you please, let's recreate the crime scene.
The crime seems too chaotic. I can't make heads or tails of it.
Well, that clears it up. Cappe was walking along the street, then he suddenly collapsed. He was faking it.
What? So case closed? Aren't you supposed to investigate a little more first?
Well, we literally replayed the crime scene and saw it with our own eyes. There's no need for any evidence gathering or powers of deduction now. And besides, maybe the truth is inherently strange by nature. Like how Constellation Metropole has 3 histories, each of which is the truth.
But didn't you say Cappe was struck in the back of the head and knocked unconscious?
For all I know, he could have bashed his head against a toilet bowl before leaving the house, then walked here in a daze before finally passing out. As for why he might have done that, my guess is... With the Supreme Clan question left unanswered and the tension in Constellation Metropole suddenly wiped away, he was looking to create a new source of conflict. Only then would the city feel alive again.
Do we really think he's capable of that, though? Sounds like a pretty complicated conspiracy for the average Simulanka resident.
Traveler, something about the crime scene isn't sitting right with me. It just seems unnatural. Also, anything outside of the immediate area won't have appeared in the replay. Is it possible that something was missing from the scene? Why don't we search the area?
Wait, what are you doing?
Oh, we're gonna head to Cappe's house to check the toilet bowl for signs of an impact.
Come here. Whatever it is you were looking to buy, please do come back tomorrow. It's just, I have to close early today. A bottle of growth serum has gone missing. If someone's stolen it with the intention of harming others, the consequences could be disastrous. There's a whole investigation into it, so I gotta close the shop while I do an inventory count. If it turns out I'm wrong and I miscounted, I could be charged with filing a false report and disturbing the peace.
There's a strange potion bottle here. Looks so weird. Let's take it.
You're not from these parts, are you? Just visiting?
Yep, that's right. Why? What's up?
Ah, well, I was gonna offer you a great job in the Titanium mines. A safe and secure working environment.
Doesn't sound very safe. At least not as safe as being a courier.
To keep the Titanium ore intact, we use specially designed pickaxes that can't cut through it. Even if you struck a person with it, it wouldn't so much as leave a scratch. And in terms of labor intensity, the work has been rated as Class 2 physical labor by a reputable organization. Even cats can do it.
I'm not... never mind. I give up.
Welcome to Paimon's world.
Mind you, I don't know what happened today, but somehow a pickaxe has gone missing. Maybe one of the giant guards broke it down, so someone took it to perform a rapid resuscitation procedure.
Sounds pretty brutal for a first aid technique. Still, a missing pickaxe. Huh. Is it just me, Traveler, or does it seem kinda suspicious?
Hello there. Have you seen my spear by any chance?
Someone was shouting about a dragon a minute ago, and I instinctively threw it into the sky. Yeah.
There's a spear here. It looks so mysterious. Let's take it. Race you.
Easy money.
A pickaxe? What is it doing all the way down here? There's gotta be a story behind it. Let's take it.
Let's say one of these was the weapon used in the assault. Which one do you think it is?
If it was the pickaxe, Cappe sure is lucky it's not still lodged in his head.
Actually, you're wrong there, Paimon. The foreman at the mine was just saying, this kind of pickaxe is designed not to damage titanium, so it couldn't cause any superficial damage to residents here. But you could probably knock someone out if you hit them hard enough, and it wouldn't leave a scratch. Let's take this back to the crime scene and replay it one more time.
Ah, you're back. How was the toilet at Cappe's house?
Toilet? What about it? Yeah, forget that.
What's this about? What are you trying to say?
We thought the way Cappe fell looked odd, so we searched the area for suspicious items and found this. It could have been deliberately placed out of range of the crime scene so it wouldn't show up when we replayed it. Now we've retrieved it, we were gonna replay it again. You don't mind, do you?
Oh, I just remembered I forgot to turn off the clockwork switch in my kitchen. Yeah, I think I'll just,
Oh, no, you stay right there.
We should be good now.
So, it was you!
I would congratulate you for cracking the case, but since I did such an abysmal job of covering my tracks, didn't exactly have your work cut out for you. So, all I can say is... Catch me if you can!
We have a runner! That's it! Let me at him!
The would-be Marquis of Carabas dispatched the Necromata in boots, who ran off in pursuit of the poor little minion. The minion's poor little lower back was protesting painfully against the intense physical activity. He decided to take the elevator, giving him a moment to catch his breath. Really? His lower back asked. But the minion had no other choice. He resolved to make the jump down. By this point, the Necromata in boots was gasping for air. The minion was huffing and puffing, even more loudly. But we'll ignore that.
I'm not! Don't underestimate the gold-level courier of the Komania Express!
A characteristically catty response from the Necromata. Tell me, what do you hope to gain from bullying me?
I get to let off some steam!
Ha-ha! You fell into my trap! Oh, and by the way, remember the glue you got stuck on when you first entered the future Marquis' abode-to-be? That was also me. I did it using my powers.
Rats! Oh, I'm so jealous of you guys right now. You can just jump out of your shoes and keep running, but
The unnamed minion made a last-ditch escape attempt. He began his long climb. Sorry, up the wall, the tall wall. He began his long climb up the tall wall.
You call that a tall wall?
I'm beat. I surrender.
You've got nowhere left to run.
All right, I confess.
That was fast.
Getting caught by you here was a backup plan. I don't know if what I've done will make things better or not. Time to come clean. I am the narrator, the one who's been guiding you all this time. Okay, I guess my voice acting skills have some room for improvement. Anyway, I only did what I did because
Why are you suddenly spilling the beans?
I poured my heart and soul into all this. I was worried you wouldn't ask. The truth is, I was one of the first conscious beings ever made by the goddess of creation. And I've known for a long time that this whole world is just a fairy tale written by the goddess of fate. I know they say that fairy tales are just made up for kids to read, but I refuse to believe that fairy tales are just fictional stories and nothing more. The reason why Constellation Metropole has 3 origin stories is that the goddess of fate wrote 3 drafts and couldn't decide which one she liked best. Then her cat trod all over them, and they all got crumpled together, so the 3 worlds just sort of folded into one. The goddess of fate was torn between them anyway, since she couldn't decide which ending was best for the dragon or the kids. So when she saw what the cat had done, she simply decided to go with all 3.
Who'd have thought? But what does any of this have to do with what you did?
You're not a fictional character, so you couldn't hope to understand my sorrow. Honestly, I don't think there's anyone in all of Simulanka who would understand. Every day that I experience, every interaction I have with another person, is it really all just a work of fiction? The only reason the 3 great clans wanted to find out the truth was for the pointless task of electing the supreme clan. I thought that once they'd learned the truth, it might make them curious enough to investigate further. But as it turned out, they just accepted it and carried on living the same old lives. I have to motivate them to keep looking for answers now that they think they've learned the truth. I have to make them uncomfortable with the superficial explanation that they took at face value. And I have to figure out, once and for all, while you real people from the outside world are still here, are we real?
Oh.
That's my full confession. Time for you to take me back. I'm guessing I'll probably be forced to make a public apology, then sentenced to half a day in solitary confinement. I definitely deserve half a day. Oh, also, pass this message on to Cape, Bobarano, and Albizzi, if you could. The Great Clockwork Key was originally put in place jointly by the ancestors of the 3 clans. If the 3 of them had any ability to cooperate whatsoever, they'd have been able to remove it by themselves. Over all these years, not once have they ever tried removing it together.
Oh, my poor child. There's one thing you've been mistaken about this whole time.
Ah! Whose voice is that? Detective? Was that you? Your voice acting's actually pretty good.
The reason fairy tales are suitable for children is that they help them to understand the world. Fairy tales may be works of fiction, but at their heart lies an internal logic that is undoubtedly real-world truth in a condensed form. Perhaps they simplify good and evil, and perhaps they hide the darkness in metaphors. But let there be no doubt. The world within fairy tales is as real as can be. And by extension, you and your compatriots are also real.
Goddess! Is it really you?
The line that separates footnotes from narrative can never be crossed. Never the two shall meet. This is why you have never heard my voice before. But now you wish to break free from the story, and there's a cat nearby, so you can hear my echo.
Necromora!
Just your echo.
Oh, poor detective.
So, we are a part of the real world too.
My head's spinning. Albizzi just gave me a quick rundown of the situation. So you caught the detective?
Sorta. We chased him until he surrendered. Oh, and he asked us to pass on a message.
Does he really think we didn't try that? 'Cause we did! After 6 months in that place!
Ah, that was my bad. I thought it was a stupid idea at the time, so I didn't really exert myself.
I also sort of stopped trying after 3 years.
You... Never mind. I'm partly to blame as well. On the second attempt, I just hugged the key and pretended like I was pulling as hard as I could.
You guys are so lazy. My granny's neighbor's pet cat has nothing on you, and it spends all day, every day sunbathing.
Anyway, you said you heard the voice of the Goddess of Fate at the end? That's amazing.
There is a world beyond our own after all.
What would you guys say to taking a trip to the outside world sometime? Otherwise, I got bashed in the back of the head for nothing.
Depends. Do either of you know how to get there? But yes, I agree we should go. And not invite the detective, just to annoy him. But maybe the reason we've never worried about whether we're real or not is that, unlike him, we weren't there to witness the creation of this world. We've never had any reason to doubt that we're real. If someone ever convinced me that these delightful dimwits, Cape and Albizzi, weren't real, oh, I'd be devastated.